Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another book reading video. It is officially 7 days until my birthday and I thought what better way to celebrate than binge reading some books. In this video I will be mainly reading books I've read before and that I know I love, just so I can have that enjoyment, that like staying up late reading, and I know I'm gonna love every book I read. There is one book on my list that I haven't read yet, so it'll be a first time read and I'm hoping I love it and it lives up to expectation. But we will see, and I will reveal what that book is on the day I read it. I'm not particularly thinking of doing a book a day, just as long as I finish all 7 books in 7 days. Obviously, it will be best to keep it so it's a book a day, so I don't have to like binge read 2 books in one day. But I do have some commitments which might make that hard. But I have been like restricted with my reading recently just because like busy period of my life. But now I finally got over that busy period. I survived. So now I have so much time to read. It's half term next week, my birthday next week. And I have so much time to read and I'm so excited. So this is day one and I'm going to start with Better Than the Movies. This is a book I've read before. I've read it at least twice, maybe 3 times before. So this is either my third or my fourth time reading it. And I only read it for the first time like 2 years ago. So this is such like a, whenever I'm in a reading slump or whenever I've just read like a really heavy book which made me cry, this is literally the first thing I pick up because this is such a good book in my opinion. It is YA and it does read like YA, but I still think everybody should give this book a try. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably read this book. A load of people have. It's getting adapted for either a TV series or a movie, I'm not sure, but it's getting adapted. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it. But also, I will be really sad if they don't do it justice because I love it so much. So if you don't know, but you probably do, this book is about Liz and Wes, and they are next door neighbours and they fight all of the time. They're like enemies in the loose sense. Enemies in a romance book is very different to enemies in a fantasy book, but they're enemies in a loose sense. And they have the spot, which is a spot outside their houses for one car to fit in, and they always fight over getting this spot because otherwise they'd have to park up the street and they'd have to walk home, and it's just like inconvenient. So they always fight over this spot and they kind of, well, you think that they hate each other. And then Liz, which is our female main character and the point of view that we're in, um, loves love. She loves movies about love. She loves making up fake scenarios. She loves love. And one day her childhood crush comes back into town and she realizes that Wes has an in and could get her close to her childhood crush. So they set up a deal that Wes will take her to a party where her childhood crush is. And then this deal develops throughout the book. So it ends up kind of fake dating trope, but it's such a good book. And then I read this book for the first time, obviously just normally, and I was so obsessed with it. And then I found out that Lynn Painter on her website posts some chapters from Wes's point of view, and I went and read those, and it made me love this book 10 times more. So now every time since then that I've read this book, I've read Wes's chapter after. It's like, let's say the party scene, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about, like the party scene, I would read it in this book and then I would go and read Wes's point of view, and it makes it so much better. So yeah, this is the book I'm planning to read today. It's only like 300 only about like 350 pages, so I definitely think I can finish it in one day. It is currently, I think, 11 a.m. I'm not 100% sure, but I have so much time today. The only thing I'm really planning on doing is going on a quick run, and me and my sister are currently watching Off Campus, so we're very excited about that. We're about halfway through, so I'll keep you guys updated with that. I'm loving it so far. We both binge read the book. Like, I binge read the book in one day, and then we started watching it that afternoon. So we are seeing like the differences more than if we'd read the book a while ago. But the differences aren't actually annoying us so far. But I heard there is a big difference near the end that might annoy us. But I'm very much liking it so far and I'm very excited to read this. Honestly, most of my favourite books are romances. or most of the books I want to read in this video are romances. I've given a lot of like literary fiction 5 stars and stuff, but with like binge reading and just wanting to have a fun time, I'm more looking for fun, quick romances. But yeah, this video will basically go through what my favourite books are and just me having a fun time reading them. So I will keep you updated later on in the day how far through I get through this. Hopefully I can finish it today. Okay, so I'm currently on chapter 10, which is about 200 pages into this book, and obviously it's a reread for me. We already know I love it. I'm still loving it so much on the reread. It is 3 p.m. and this is like 200 pages is more than halfway through because it's only a 350 page book. So I am more than halfway through. It's only 3 p.m. I still don't have that much to do today. Like, I feel like I'm definitely going to finish this today, maybe start my next book today, but we'll see. Because tomorrow is one of my busy days, so I do kind of want to get ahead of myself a little bit just to make sure I don't fail this challenge. But obviously it's going really well. It makes me really excited to like knowing that it's going to be turned into a TV series or a movie or whatever they announced. I always forget. Reading it and knowing that, it makes me really excited to see these scenes brought to life, but also I really hope they do it right. Like I said before, like I just want the casting to be right. This is a slight spoiler, so like skip 20 seconds maybe if you haven't read it before. But obviously at the end of the book we find out that Wes has liked her the whole time, and then when Lynn Painter released chapters from Wes's point of view, you can tell that he's liked her this entire time. Like he's been in love with her, he teases her to get her attention, kind of thing. So I think it will be really interesting to see if we can tell that by Wes's like actor in the TV series, because like obviously we'll all be looking for it, but like it needs to be subtle enough that like Liz can't tell. I just there's so many things they need to do right with this book. I will definitely be rereading this book right before the TV series comes out as well. So I'm just gonna reread this book like every month or something. But I love this book. My favourite part of this book, well, I love the whole book, but the love confession at the end is so good. So I'm so excited to read that again. I get so like giddy every time, every single time. I love all of Lynn Painter books as well. Like if you've read this and you've liked this but you haven't read any of her other books, obviously there's another book in this series called Nothing Like the Movies, which is them in college. And usually I don't love when they like break up and have like a second book which is like second chance, but Lynn did it so well. Like it was such a good book. I love it like almost as much as I love this book. And then like Betting on You, The Do-Over, like every single book. I've only read her YA, I haven't read any of her adult romances yet, but they're all so good. So if you're a romance lover, I would definitely recommend picking up one of these books. But yes, hopefully I can finish it really soon and get started with my next one. Okay, so it's currently the morning of the third day of this reading challenge. So technically I should have read 2 books by now and I should be on to my third book. So yesterday, actually I believe it was the night of the first day, I started Divine Rivals. I should have put the dust jacket back on to show you, so sorry about that, but I started Divine Rivals. Carried on reading a bit of it yesterday as well, so I'm now halfway through. I'm on page 200 and I think it's like 350 pages, so I'm pretty close to finishing it. This is like quite possibly my favourite book of all time. I just love the way she writes. Like, nothing will ever top it for me. I have like book quotes on like my wardrobe, and there's so many that come from this, because just the way that she writes, I just like just some of the quotes, like I think we all wear armour. Like that quote, if you know that letter specifically, I don't want to ruin anything, but that letter is actually just like, it has a piece of my soul. I love this book so much. So obviously I've reread it a couple times, loving it just as much on this reread. Really scared to read the last chapter, or it's not the last chapter, but like the end part, if you know, you know, because I probably will cry even though I know it's coming. But obviously I'm just so happy to be back in this universe with Roman and Iris. I love Iris. She's one of my favourite female main characters ever. She's so strong, but then she's also like soft and vulnerable, and I just love everything about her. And the amount she goes through in this book is kind of just rude. And then, I mean, obviously I love Roman Kit. He's the standard for me. I love Roman Kit. But yeah, he's amazing. And then yesterday, so day 2, I started the 7-year slip, and I'm 120 pages in, which is like just less than half, maybe like a third. I don't really know how long this is. I think it's like 300 pages, so like nearly a half. And this is another reread for me. I love this book. I have underlined like quite a lot of it, just because I also feel like her writing is so beautiful, so whimsical. I've read a couple of other books by her, but this is most definitely my favourite. I love how the magic seems like, obviously it's not realistic because of the magic part of it. If you don't know the plot of this book, basically there's this girl called Clementine, and her aunt just passed away, and her aunt left her apartment to Clementine. So Clementine moves in, and when she was younger and she used to hang out with her aunt in this apartment, her aunt would tell her that it's a magical apartment and that it can either make you slip 7 years into the past or 7 years into the future to bring you together with someone when your life is at a crossroad. And she believed it when she was younger, then she grew up and she stopped believing it. And she moved into this apartment when her aunt died, and she's kind of just been at like a point in her life where she's not really moving forward, she's not moving backwards, she's just kind of a bit stuck. And one day she walks into her apartment and she slips 7 years into the past and meets this guy, and it kind of goes from there. So I feel like the magic just adds so much more emotion, so much more like things we can learn from the story. I think this is a great example of a romance, which is a great romance. Like, I love the love story in this, but also it teaches us so many lessons through something that's not very realistic, but we can interpret it how we want. So I absolutely love this book. But yeah, so I'm basically like halfway through both of them, which means I technically did read a full book yesterday on day 2. Obviously today's day 3, so I'm hoping to finish both of these and then I'll be back on track. Yeah, so I'm very excited to get to reading today. Okay, as you just saw from my previous clip, I finished both the 7-year slip and Divine Rivals. I finished both of these on day 3, which means that I finished 3 books by the end of day 3. I did have time to start book 4 on day 3, but I just didn't, and I don't know why, because it would have been really helpful if I did, because I had quite a busy day. It's currently day 5. I didn't update you on day 4 because I had quite a busy day, so I didn't have a massive amount of time to read, but I did manage to get 230 pages in to this would be my 4th book. The Mistake, which is the second book in the Off Campus series. I read The Deal earlier. Well, it's a Monday today. I read The Deal last week in one day, and then watched the Off Campus series on Amazon Prime, and it's actually so good. Like, I'm obsessed. So now I'm obviously going to be reading all of the rest of the series. So this book I haven't read before. This is the first non-reread I'm doing in this video, and probably the only non-reread I'm doing in this video. So it'll be interesting to see what my rating of this one is, because like all of my other rereads, I know they're probably going to be 5 stars, because I gave them 5 stars before, and it was right, these were both 5 stars again for me, because they're just 2 of my favourite books ever. So far, I'm liking it. It's not giving me like that giddy feeling that I like romance to give me. I do currently prefer Hannah and Garrett's story. I like the trope of like a man fighting to like get a girl back, but I don't know, I just feel like I'm not feeling it. I'm not really feeling him liking her. I need like more evidence that he actually, like, the part I'm reading now, they are dating, but it still kind of feels like he just went through all of that because she was the one girl who like rejected him. Well, she didn't even like really reject him, but you know, I like them, they're cute, but just not as much as Garrett and Hannah. But I'm still enjoying it. It's still such an easy read. I do have plans today. I should be able to finish this because I have less than 100 pages left, so I should be able to finish this before my plans today. And then obviously it's day 5, so I need to pick up and probably finish my 5th book today. I'm not sure what book I'm going to pick up yet. Also, sorry about all of the background noise. My window's open because it's so hot right now. But I'm not sure what my 5th book is going to be yet, but I do need to lock in because it is kind of crunch time. Obviously it's 7 books in 7 days. It's currently day 5 and I haven't finished my 4th book, so we do have to lock in. But I don't believe, I might be wrong, but I don't believe I have any plans tomorrow, so I'm just going to read all day because I have nothing better to do or nothing that I want to do more than read. So I should be able to catch up tomorrow on day 6 and then obviously finish the challenge on day 7. I'm really hoping I get this done. But yeah. Okay, it is now day 7 of the 7 books in 7 days challenge, which means 2 things. 1, that we are on the final stretch, and 2, that I've been really bad at updating you guys, so I'm sorry. I can't remember the last time I updated you. I think it might have been day 5, when I was just like nearly finished with The Mistake. I was borrowing The Mistake from my sister and I've given it back to her, so I'm not going to be able to hold it up while I'm telling you about it. But I finished that like an hour after the update. I did enjoy it. I think it was cute. I love John Logan and I love Gracie. I think I relate more to Gracie than I do to Hannah. Like, I love Gracie as a female main character and I do love John Logan. I just didn't love their relationship as much as I love Garrett and Hannah's, but that's okay. I know that it's Ali and Dean's book next, and obviously if you've watched the Off Campus series, you know that like you're obsessed, like you are going to be obsessed with Ali and Dean if you watch Off Campus series 1, and I'm currently rewatching it, which is crazy because I only watched it for the first time like a week ago, but I'm currently rewatching it. I'm halfway through my second rewatch, so I'm so excited. I will get to that book soon, not in this video, but I am planning to read that book very soon, because I'm very excited about that. But anyway, I finished that. I gave it I would say it was like a 3.5 stars for me, because I gave the first book a 4 stars and I definitely preferred The Deal to, was it called The Mistake? I don't remember what it was called, but I definitely preferred the first book. But then after that, as you saw in my clip, I picked up The Ballad of Never After on day 5 and finished it on day 5, and this was my 5th book, so this got me back on track. I read it in one sitting. If you ever asked my 2 favourite books, my answer would be Divine Rivals and this book. So reading my 2 favourite books again for this video has been so nice, such like a little birthday treat for me. But yeah, literally sat down, just read it all. It's so good. The ending is obviously really painful, but oh, it's so good. I was like a bit like, because I haven't reread the first book in a while, jumping straight into the second book, I was a bit like I know this world and these characters so well, but sometimes you just forget the little things. I was a bit overwhelmed, but I got into it really easily. And obviously when Jax and Eva start to get close again, it's just such good writing. Like, I feel like this is my favourite kind of like fantasy romance. I feel like I would call this more of romance than a fantasy, because obviously that is like a fantasy plot going on, but it's not as big as like other fantasy books. Like, I would call ACOTAR a fantasy over romance, and I would call this a romance over fantasy, if you get what I mean. But it's one of my favourite books ever. It's just so glad to read it. Obviously, still a 5 stars. And then, again on day 5, I picked up and got 50 pages into Lost Boy by Christina Henry, which is a reimagining of Peter Pan written through the perspective of a first lost boy he brings onto the island, who then ends up... I'm not sure if that's a spoiler actually, so but it's written in the perspective of a first boy he brings to the island, and it kind of helps you to realise that maybe Peter isn't as great as he's portrayed in his movies. I'm sure it's probably a book, I'm not actually sure. I've only watched the movie, but that maybe like if you fell in love with Peter and just him like being childish and like getting people to like not grow up, and that's so cool and whatever, it's very interesting to read through this perspective of Jamie. It's very interesting to read through the perspective of Jamie and see all of the things he goes through in this book, and kind of how that changes your perspective on Peter. And then the end links into like the end links into the movie that we end up seeing, the like main Peter Pan movie, at the end of the book you can see how it links into the movie, and that's so interesting to me. So I ended up finishing this book yesterday, which was day 6, and this was my 6th book, so it kept me on track again. I would give it a 4 stars. I found it very interesting to read. It's a bit like, it doesn't really let up, it's quite gruesome, like every chapter something kind of gruesome is happening, but that's like the point of the story, to like change your perspective on Peter Pan. But it was so like, it didn't like describe it in a gruesome way, but like sometimes you would just have to sit there and be like, what have I just read? But I find books that change your perspective on the hero of a book, or change your perspective on a villain. I love villain origin stories, especially when it's Disney. I've read quite a few Disney reimaginings. I find them just really interesting to see, like, because like most movies, when you pick up the movie or like the book, when it's Disney, the villain is already the villain, and you don't really know how they've become a villain, if the hero had like any play in that. And the villain, Disney can be used to be quite two-dimensional with never really fleshing out the villain. So reading books where you can, is obviously a reimagining, it's not canon, but like it's like interesting to see, like, yeah, it makes sense how the villain would come, and then you kind of get in the perspective of the villain. So I do like that. And then this morning, the morning of day 7, I've started Cross My Heart and Hope to Spy, which is the second book in the Gallagher Girls series. This much seemed like such a random choice for the last book, but this is one of my like childhood series. like I grew up loving this series. For me, it was like Skullduggery Pleasant, Percy Jackson, Ruby Redfort, and this series. And I reread this series like 1 or 2 years ago, just because I was like trying to remind myself why I loved it so much, and I just fell in love with it again. Like, it's so good. I have picked up the second book because the love interest I the love interest in these books is like a book boyfriend to me. Like, I love him. And he isn't in the first book. He makes his debut in this book. So I was like, I'm not about to read a book where he isn't in it. So I picked up the second book because it's his introduction, and I love them. But if you don't know anything about this series, Gallagher Girls is a group of female spies, and they go to a school for female spies, and it's just following their lives as they like train to become spies, like all of the secrets and stuff, and just like everything hard that comes along with that. But also the main girl that we're following, Cami Morgan, also following her kind of like trying to, well, she's obviously not a normal girl, but also like discovering boys and all of the other things you discover when you're a teenager, and trying to fit that alongside being a good spy and not giving out information to the wrong people. So I just find it really interesting. It is very YA, but I personally just love these books. They're so good if you want like a nice easy read. And I promise you, the love interest that actually sticks around and is introduced in the second book is called Zach, and I promise you, you will love him. He's quite sassy. If you like a sassy, confident, but also like he really cares about the female main character, love interest, and I think Zach will really do it for you. I will either update you throughout the day whilst I'm reading this, or just update you after I finish it. I'm not sure yet. I might film my reactions to the best parts, because there are a lot of good parts in this book. But I'm very much on track, so I'm definitely going to finish this challenge, which I'm so happy about, because when I set out this challenge I was like, oh, I'm not actually quite sure. I'm definitely going to finish it in time for my birthday, so I'm very happy. And I will update you later. Okay, as you saw from my last clip, I finished Gallagher Girls Book 2, which was the 7th book of this video, and it is still day 7. I finished this many hours ago. I finished this, I think, around 1 p.m. So I smashed this challenge out of the park, if I do say so myself. I'm really happy because I wasn't 100% sure I would be able to do it, just because, I don't know, like if you get a book that you can't binge, like I think if I was reading 7 new books in 7 days it would have been a lot harder, but being able to pick, I had 6 rereads out of the 7 books I read, so being able to pick books I knew I would love and that I've rated 5 stars before and I knew were bingeable to me made it a lot easier. Maybe one day I will challenge myself reading 7 new books in 7 days, and I'm mainly stuck to romance, which in my opinion is easier to binge read. But yeah, that was my 7 books in 7 days challenge. I did it. Obviously 6 rereads, they were all 5 stars like they were the first time I read them, and then 1 new read, which was the second off-campus book, and I gave 3.5 stars. And I'm very excited to carry on with that series because Dean and Ali's book is next, so I will put that in a different reading vlog. If I think the next reading vlog I'll release will have me reading Dean and Ali's book. If you guys want to watch that, subscribe so you can look out for that. And if you guys happen to be F1 fans as well as book fans, I mainly do F1 videos, so every race weekend I'll do a predictions video and a review video. So if you also are interested in that, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow, but thank you so much for watching this video and watching me throughout the journey of reading 7 books in 7 days. I'll see you around.